Well, the stand behind you, Steve, is the east stand, and it's built about 8 years. But the ground was developed a long, long time ago. It ran the opposite direction. It's now running north to south. It used to run east to west. And we have two tenant clubs here, Wanderers and Lansdowne, and they play alternate Saturdays. Wanderers home one Saturday, Lansdowne are home the next. So the ground was continuously in loose. On average, up until last year when we resodded the whole pitch in preparation for the World Cup and trying to make the place look as good as we could, we played an average of 52 matches a year, which is a lot in international service.
The two Tudor cottages at either end of the western stand are welcome anachronisms at an otherwise modern-looking ground. The Lansdowne Club has set up new headquarters just beside the stadium, with 2 pitches and a fine clubhouse, but Wanderers still call the main ground home in every way. Australia last played here in 1984 and found Ireland at Lansdowne Road the toughest hurdle in their Grand Slam campaign. They are always difficult at home.
Lansdowne Road really is a place that England hate to go to, for example. Anyone coming, or, at home, we'd say, playing for Ireland, coming to Lansdowne Road to face us there, the French hate it there. Most people don't like to play us there. I think it's a significant factor, Lansdowne Road.
The Australians are on the verge of a breakthrough today. Through their pool matches, the crowds have been cheering for the Wallabies' opponents, and certainly the home crowd here will be cheering for the Irish. But if they win their quarter-final and make a semi-final against New Zealand, back here at Lansdowne Road, you'll find Irish support swinging behind Australia. The Irish are passionate about their rugby, and of course the other special thing about the sport here is that it's managed to bring a divided Northern and Republic of Ireland together, an achievement of which they're very proud.
Absolutely essential and great. It's the one thing we're all together. It doesn't matter what your creed or religion or anything else. It's all one, and it's fine. That's the binding thing that's great about the game here.
And have the players always got on, selected from north or south?
Always got on tremendously well. Tremendously well.
How have you managed to keep politics out of that kind of thing, with selection of coaches and that?
Well, Irish always believe, I think, that politics and sport do not combine, and hopefully it'll remain that way.
Well, somebody making their first visit to Lansdowne Road, but he probably wishes it was in different circumstances, is Australian number 8, Tim Gavin, forced out with a knee injury. Tim, how's the knee coming along?
Oh, very well, Steve. I had a bit of a setback there not long after the operation, but certainly powering along at the moment. I'm doing a lot of work on it, and I'll be certainly right for next year.
And how do you feel sort of coming here in these circumstances?
Well, I'm pretty pumped up as well, nearly as pumped up as what the boys are. I was sort of in the hotel there earlier this morning and just walking around, and the atmosphere there's electric, and certainly here they're just on fire, the crowd. Australia have really got to take it to these Irish today.
You watched the Australian games back home in Australia. You just arrived on Friday. How have you felt about their form?
Oh, the momentum's gathering. They're certainly looking towards these semi-finals and this quarter-final today. The Irish are certainly going to be very tough. We've got to break that Irish spirit early on and, really have a go at their inside backs. I think there's a weakness there. If we can get Willie and bigger forwards running at them, and Timmy Oren having a little dart here and there and picking up Campo, I think we'll cut them to pieces.
You left the team with a problem, of course, filling the number 8 spot. The experiment with John Eales has been done away with. He's back in the second row. Is that the right situation now?
Oh, I think so. That tight 5 worked very well for us in the home series, and especially the line-out's working very well now. Rod McCall's getting some good balls there, and Eales has always been outstanding in the line-out. And, and we just had to work those combinations in the back row with the moves with Nick, and Willie's a great ball handler, and he's fitted in well there. I think that's the way to go.
What about these conditions though, Tim? How will that affect the back row play? You may not see Willie O picking up the ball at the back of the scrum as much?
Oh, I think these are the conditions that the opportunity's going to present itself quite a lot here. We've got to really have a go to keep it tight. If you drop the ball against these guys, they'll tow it through, they'll chase everything. They're a real bustling side, and that's how we've got to keep it tight and really have a go at them, keep it in close, punch it up at them, and try and suck their back row in. Phil Matthews, outstanding player. If he can get around the paddock and start securing ball for them, they'll plug it down to the corners and wait for our mistakes and have kicks at goals. I don't think they've really got scoring backs, but that's what they'll be trying to do, just bustle us.
All right, Tim, we'll see if the Australians stick to your game plan. I'll watch the match with you, and we'll get some comments from Tim at half-time. But for the moment, Gordon, back to you.
Thanks very much, Steve, and great to see Tim Gavin over here. I attended the fundraising function. The Eastern Suburbs Club raised something like $6,000 to pay his fare over here, and the team are delighted to have him there. But the Australian back row, Gary, they seem to have found the right combination now. They really put it together in that second half against Wales.
Well, they certainly did. It's the other thing too is that Australia played its first real World Cup game at Carter Farms Park. It had played on Pontypool and Clonethy before then. It plays its second game in the real World Cup at the big grounds today, and I think that's going to make an enormous difference. The advantage of the top sides playing at home really does show up, and we saw that France, even in their home at Parc des Princes, was a new world for them as well.
Yes, Chris, I think that's a valid point, and here we are again at one of the most famous, one of the most picturesque international venues.
Beautiful place, Gordon, but I'd love to see Timmy Gavin on the pitch rather than in the commentary team. That would really complete it for me. He's been my standout performer in his last 6 test matches for Australia. There's no doubt about that. But the boys have got to do it on the paddock today. I'm sure Keys is the key man for Ireland, but Australia will try and play it away from him as much as possible.
Yes, well, the scene is really building up at the moment. We're about 8 minutes away from kick-off. So let's now look at the two sides for this third quarter final. Just the one change to the Australian team that downed Wales 38-3 last Saturday. Captain Nick Farr-Jones returns for his 51st international after injuring his ankle and knee against Samoa. Michael Lynagh also wins his 51st and returns to the homeland of his great-grandparents. Simon Poidevin is the only survivor of Australia's last visit here in 1984 during the Grand Slam Tour. He and Jeff Miller played flanker against the Irish in the 87 World Cup quarter-final. The Irish lineup has only one change from last weekend's 24-15 loss to Scotland. Winger John Clark replaces the injured Keith Crossan. Exciting winger Simon Gagan was the find of the season during the Five Nations, scoring slashing tries against Wales, Scotland and England. Ralph Keys has been a revelation at 5'8" and is the tournament's leading point scorer with 53. In the pack, Matthews, Lenihan, Francis and Fitzgerald all played in the 87 World Cup. Steve Smith, the hooker, was a late replacement. Well, I don't know about shamrocks, but if they can choose some shamrocks this afternoon, they'll be staying here for another week, that's for sure. I know a couple of prop forwards on the Lions tour of South Africa in 75. Bobby Windsor was one of them. The Welsh hooker ate some daffodils and won the daffodil eating contest. And of course there was Laurie Fay, the Eastern Suburbs prop, who ate a cactus, Gary, at Auckland Airport.
Yes, he did. It was actually during the night. They took him to the hospital. Half his face blew up, and they asked him what he did for a job. He said he was a botanist.
We're being entertained by the Garda band, the police band here in Dublin, and it's a capacity crowd, people coming in late from the pubs. Our taxi driver this morning, when we got to the ground around about 10 o'clock local time, said that the pubs won't be opening till 12:30, but I have a seeking suspicion they might sneak a few patrons through in about 15 minutes. And I think that's been the case, Chris.
Well, last night we were entertained by a local crowd at O'Donoghue's pub just up the road from where we're staying, and they were jam full. Irish music, charming race of people, the Irish. Just couldn't make us more welcome. Mostly lunatics. They just love life. They just see the funny side of it. They're just full on for having a drink and meeting people. You know, it just wouldn't be complete, the World Cup tour, without coming here. And I'm glad we're coming back next week.
And at the risk of making sweeping generalisations, the Irish are eternal optimists. And even if their side is down, they were the wooden spooners with Wales in the Five Nations Championship, they still approach every international. I'm talking about the crowd with great hope and tremendous goodwill. And I think you'll see here at Lansdowne Road, no booing, no whistling of the kickers as we saw in Wales and Eden Park.
Yeah, it's basically you feel at home when you come here. You know, I think it's just because of our heritage again. But there's the larrikin in them. There's the good times. There's always look at the optimistic element. And I think they play the game the same way as we do. And I think we're going to find up front it's going to be incredibly uncompromising from both sides. They're going to throw everything at each other. And it'll probably be the side that's just got a little bit more composure towards the end that's going to be the side that'll win it. But they're a formidable team across all their areas.
Chris pointed out that the Irish scored 10 tries in the Five Nations, just one behind France. And really, They could have beaten England here at Lansdowne Road. If they'd kicked their goals, they would have beaten Wales and Scotland. So their form really didn't, their performance, their standing certainly wasn't a true indication of their performances on the field. But the crowd is just pouring in here at Lansdowne Road, past the Lansdowne Rugby Club over in that right-hand corner. And it really is quite a remarkable scene. I was here in '81 with the Wallabies, their only win on that tour. And then, of course, the second leg of the Grand Slam tour here in '84, when Mark Miller scored that wonderful try down in the corner on the right-hand side where we're looking from. And it was a late try which got the Wallabies home. And it was the toughest match they had on the whole tour, Chris.
Well, it was good, and that's why there's such fervour and such interest in Lansdowne Road. It's the furthest rugby field from Australia. As we're told, if you leave here in any direction, you're on your way back, and it should be great.
So all but Simon Pointerman running onto Lansdowne Road in a test match for the first time. Nick Farr-Jones has been in the hands of Greg Craig, the Australian trainer, for pretty well 12 hours a day since he injured that knee and ankle. And you can see there he's stretching out pretty well. And the wonders of modern medicine. Well, a deafening roar as the Irish take the field. Very exciting scene, charged with atmosphere. We have a Scot in charge this afternoon, assisted by a Welshman and another Scot. So the two teams now will come over for the anthem. And I must also point out, there's Phil Matthews, the man who's come back to the captaincy. Rob Saunders was the Irish captain during the Five Nations, but Matthews displaced him on the tour of Namibia. I was going to say, I must point out, the Irish have claimed Willie Offahengawe as their own. They put an apostrophe after the O. Nick Farr-Jones just... For the Australians, so they're doing their own.
Fantastic. One of the memorable things about playing on rugby grounds, being away from home, cold weather, not a lot of supporters in the crowd. There together, the boys singing Advance Australia Fair.
Well, the Irish pulling a Swifty on us there.
This is fantastic. You can see the expressions on the Australian players psyching themselves. Just 15 blokes together, representing their country. Magnificent.
The referee, Jim Fleming, he handled the World Cup opener at Twickenham between England and New Zealand. He was also in charge of Australia's World Cup match against Japan at Concord in '87. He enjoys nothing more than a spell with the bagpipes away from the rugby pitch. 21-year-old John Eales, what a moment for him. Australia running into a slight breeze in the first half.
Interesting start here. Whether they'll play the physical or play distance.
Well, again we have a full start. The Australian forwards look as though they're pretty keen to get into the game early on, Chris.
They do, Gordon. Fired up for this. You see, very focused.
Matthews there, so is Lynagh. Lost ahead by Ireland. And Matthews, well, a nasty punch up there. Matthews and Offahan go away. And they're going on with it. Francis and Offahan go away. Well, that is not the start we wanted. I haven't seen Willie O throw a punch in an international before, but we saw a few there.
Well, obviously the Irish have decided they've got to disrupt the Australians. It was all over the papers this morning. That was the only way they felt that they could really distract them and do it right from the start. And that was the captain, Matthews, that's decided to take it into his own hands.
Well, certainly was some impact early on. Willie Offahan he certainly got the best out of that. That's why I would never pick him. You'd have to be Irish to pick him. He's too big a bloke.
Well, the Irish have a very good scrum. Very strong front row. This is Lynagh. Kicking behind Gagan. He's the exciting right winger for Ireland. Almost charged down by Horan. Jim Staples. He turns 26 today.
First line out. Again, there'll be some niggling going on here. Sure to see a little bit of interference. Australia's throw in.
McCall got it loosely.
Nick Farr-Jones didn't need that ball. Collected a kick on the way through. Would have put stress on his knee.
So Steve Smith now, 32-year-old sports rep from Ballymena. Nick Popperwell, the prop forward, sweeping. That's the 22-metre line away to the left. Rob Saunders at half-back. Point Evans there, trying to spoil. Ireland will to be going forward.
Well, Australians will have to concentrate. If they didn't know it beforehand, they know it now. Just the grafting Irish pack. Keep the ball in close and tight.
Good hit there by Daly. Very good engagement there, Chris, by the Australian front row.
They have to concentrate on this. The Irish angling across the front row, making it very awkward.
Saunders. And a nice kick by Keys. Well, he's the man who has come into the Irish side for Brian Smith. Brian Smith has the unique distinction of playing 6 test matches for Australia and 6 for Ireland.
Keys playing the same team as Jimmy Allen, Norths and Waratah, 5'8". Jimmy Allen's moved to inside centre.
Miller. Francis caught by Farr-Jones. Good setup by the Irish. Keys. It's only got about 10 metres. Smith, Curtis, and he lost it.
One of the areas that the Irish team have struggled with throughout the championships, and that's holding on to that important ball.
Fire and fury coming from the Irish in the line-out. Australia will have to be more responsible. This tap ball from the top. The pressure on Farr-Jones has just been too much.
Off a Hengawe to Far Jones. Roebuck. Point of it now to Far Jones. Here they go. Edgerton. He did well. Now he wants support. Kearns was there. Ireland going over. Not staying on their feet.
Clear difference in the teams that time. Rob Edgerton trying desperately to stay up. Ireland trying to bring him to ground.
Good continuity of play there. We had Poitevin very quick to break down to support Roebuck, move it away from the pressure situation.
Well, that's a lovely kick by Michael Lynagh, finding touch just outside the 22. His third game of rugby out of school back in '82 was for Queensland. He shouldered enormous responsibility from an early age.
Pinching Irish ball from the line out. That's the job of Rod McCall at 2.
Francis went high. And pressure put on. The Irish are all inside the 10. Referee plays advantage. That should have been a kick or a scrum there. No advantage for Australia.
Well, any time that ball is kicked in general play, players have to be attempting or be outside of that 10-metre circle around the receiver. They weren't then.
Willie Offit and Gowie there, all fired up.
Yes, I'm sure the Australians would have preferred the penalty, which would have been a kick at goal for Michael Lynagh.
Francis in the middle of the line out. Very good jumper, well respected over in Britain. Eels has got a good competitor against him today.
Jumping off shoulders. First penalty shot for Michael Lynagh, and I must say that's poetic justice. So it's been a very lively, spirited opening from the Irish. They've really taken the game to the Wallabies.
You wouldn't expect anything different.
Michael Lynagh's had a long spell away from the goal kicking this week, but he was back into it yesterday, and that is a remarkable statistic, just a 54% ratio of successful kicks. Something that is just quite foreign, but he's still managing to average 13 points a game in test matches on this World Cup tour. 39 points so far in the tournament. Well, he really pulled it. The fluent stroke is not there at the moment for Michael Lynagh, and it's obviously a concern for him.
That is of concern. Michael would have hoped that one that he hit it sweet to give his confidence back. The game goes on.
Eels underneath, well to Ofa Hengawe, and he goes ahead and sets up. Daly there.
Irish back suspect the offside. Must be behind the furthermost foot.
Referee not having a look there. They're all offside. Lynagh. Referee says play on. Well, the Irish backs were 2 metres offside.
I'm really surprised. Fleming looked across, saw them there, but still didn't give the penalty.
David Nusafora, Steve Cutler. He played against the Irish here at Lansdowne Road in '84. Ralph Keys. It's a good kick. Eels again. Back to Ofa Hengawe. Willie O's done very well in the close quarters so far. Lynagh. Here they come. The Irish have done well there. Oh, bad mistake by Keys. He's in trouble. Australia, Ofa Hengawe. The try's on here for the Wallabies. Lynagh, just short.
Great pressure by the Australians.
Quick work to break down by Poitevin, pumping it to Ofa Hengawe. Players throwing themselves. Good justice there. Again, the Irish backs were offside. Try and play the ball in behind them.
Poitevin and Ofahengawe just explosive in the early stages. Australia looking for a big scrum here.
It's a critical scrum to keep this one straight. Get the push through on the Irish. Australia going back on the top of their ball.
Saunders, he did well. That's a great kick.
That's a great scrum.
Saunders, the 5th Irishman to captain his country on debut in the Five Nations this year.
Question now lies that Australia's been down towards the 22 for a period of time. They must convert this pressure. Phil Kearns unable to communicate the lines through. Crowd absolutely ear-piercing.
Knock on by Australia. And that was the big number 8, Brian Robinson. There he is, the big blonde man who scored 4 tries against Zimbabwe, 3 of them from pushovers. Well, Australia has a bit of a task here in these scrums. Penalty goes to Ireland.
Well, Ireland are driving across the scrum. They're not trying to push Australia backwards. They're trying to slide sideways. Tight head Fitzgerald doing very well getting in between Daly and Kearns.
And Chris, it's a matter of concentration for the Australians?
Very much so. They've just got to be able to stand their ground. Daly has got to, he's having trouble with his outside arm, getting it pulled down by Fitzgerald. He's just got to be able to pack short, maybe with the arm free. Hit hard, get that contact firmer.
Well, the Irish front row certainly had it over the Scots last week. There's a very good take for Australia. Rod McCall with 2 hands. Miller. Par Jones! Back to McCall. McKenzie's there for Australia. That's Steve Smith, number 2. And Australia gets the scrum feed. Going forward, but the Irish are great spoilers.
This offside again's amazing. Far Jones had to duck in as Liners had to do the last couple of times.
There the green and gold faces into the crowd behind.
Far Jones keeping the ball in play. Kempisi almost got it. And the referee ruling a knock-on by David Kempisi. Irish down inside their 22.
Australia will be trying to wheel this scrum into that sideline, into that far sideline. Means that Tony Daly's really got to work, get those legs going against Fitzgerald.
Another solid Irish scrum, and Saunders kicks himself. That was about 15 metres.
And that'll tell you the difference. Fitzgerald was able to wheel the ball away from the sideline, hence opening up the angle for Saunders.
Yes, Des Fitzgerald, a 107-kilogram strong man, made his debut against England in '84. He played in the quarter-final against the Aussies at Concord in '87. He's wearing the number 3 jersey for Ireland. Offside play there by Francis, well offside. Standing around at halfback. And another shot at goal here. Lynagh coming up.
He also didn't have a look at their backs. Their backs must have been 6 to 7 metres back from the line-out. Seems to be blind to it at this stage.
Australia play on quickly here. Kempisi went without it. Australia just rushing things a little there.
Well, the pass was high and a little bit behind him. Hard to take at pace.
Australia's just got to settle. Rock solid Irish scrum. This is Keys. Good pressure from Far Jones. And still it's about 35 metres out. He kicked the winning penalty for Cork against Gary Owen in the All-Ireland League. Ralph Keys. "14 minutes of play gone in the first half and still no score."
Heels to the back.
Far Jones, line up. This is Little. Roebuck. Horan. He's a danger man. Poitevins there. Little. Line up. Saunders, his opposite number.
Well, wrong option there. Plenty of players swinging the open side. Nice bit of play, good support play. Roebuck hitting the piece of play with straight angles. Good support, good second phase. Nick just went the wrong way.
Roebuck's hitting it straight, Gary, but we've seen in a couple of the games he's tending to get isolated from his support. Now, I don't know whether that's the problem of the support or the problem of the runner. When he hits it straight, needs to cut back to where his support is.
Well, he straightens play up. So when he hits on, it's before that. When he straightens on, the ball's always comes back. The support's got to get to him quicker. He's actually running back towards it. But here it's good support by the Australian team. But players all going one way, Nick going the other.
Great tackle there by Saunders.
So Phil Matthews, after receiving treatment, is okay. The Ireland captain, there he is, number 6. First player from the Ards Club to be capped for Ireland. Keys does well.
Clever play by Keys. They've been blessed with Ollie Campbell and Tony Ward. Brian Smith for a stint. Keys will be a major controller of the game. He'll direct which way it goes.
Bar Jones putting good pressure on Keys, but he must take his back row with him. They must follow him.
Eels got it. Bar Jones. Lynagh. Horan. Campese. David Campese. What a try! Oh, sensational! Bar Jones down in the back lane. He's hurt.
Bar Jones was taken out late by Francis after passing the ball.
Great try by Australia, David Campese. What do you say about this guy? Broken play, centre field. Ball well won in the line-up, but it goes loose. Pushed away from Far Jones. He'd passed, tackled as he did so. Horan stood the ball up and got the call from Campese, coming back in, changing the angle and running straight. And at that stage, it was shut the gate.
So David Campese scores his 4th try, but there is great concern with the Australian captain as Lynagh converts. So Australia ahead by 6-0 after 17 minutes. Campese has been the outstanding attacker in this 2nd Rugby World Cup.
Well, it was a tremendous bit of play because they were standing fairly flat with that much pace, and Campese came out of the blocks at 100 mile an hour. But as I said, if you saw the replay, Francis took out Bar Jones as after he passed the ball. Put enormous pressure down on the knee.
Peter Slattery warming up here for Australia.
I think other than a fully fit Nick Far Jones, they'd have to opt the ease. Decidedly uncomfortable with that knee. What a shame.
So Peter Slattery coming on.
They'll miss nothing. This young guy coming on the field. He did it in Wales.
Australia a man down as Slattery to come on for his 6th Test match. Ireland with a chance to hit back here. Slattery wearing the number 18 jumper. He ran on for the first time in a Test match against Wales at Cardiff Arms Park.
Number 19, the Australian side, Far Jones as a pioneer gender, and his replacement by
This is the 5th time he's been a replacement. Boydeman coming through on Robinson, and Miller's there.
Beautifully turned as well.
Saunders sees it. This is Curtis. Roebuck in great position. And steers the ball back up towards halfway.
Absolutely superb positional play by Roebuck, attacking the ball at every opportunity. Simon Poideville will have to take over some leadership here at round the ruck and ball and scrum. Get the right decisions coming through the rest of the team without Far Jones there. Relying on Slattery's great athletic ability to move the ball.
Ireland choosing the short line out. Probably go to the back.
Nice throw by Smith. Robinson was there. Eels got it. This is McKenzie. Horan. Little. Edgerton. Australia set up well through Miller. Here it comes. Lynagh and off the hen go away. Lynagh. Oh, Campese. It wasn't a good pass. closer on either side.
You can bet your life that he got the call from Campese, though. With the line, the ball flying. Good play by the back row from Australia. Miller doing the tough stuff getting the ball. Willie O filling in the gap in the back line.
This is Keys. And putting that one across field about 2 or 3 metres from the halfway line.
You just get the feeling that the Irish are finding the straight running of the Australian backs very difficult to deal with. And it's here that Australia should be playing the game.
The other thing, Gary, there has been a query over the stamina of the Irish in all of their matches. They haven't finished on in the last quarter. Australia really trying to keep the pace up.
Well, they also throw themselves so hard in the first half, they just don't wear themselves out. You might have all the passion in the world, but it also mentally tires you.
Well, it's against Irish for closing the gap too early. The referee says, I want that half-metre gap before the ball's thrown in.
Well, this will tell you out of 10 possessions, Michael Lynagh has passed 7 times. They want to play it out wide, the expansive game.
And I think Keys has kicked every time. So Nick Farr-Jones there, alongside John Green, the Australian manager. He'll watch anxiously now for the rest of the game, but he has total confidence in his replacement. This is Smith. Great charge by the Lions hooker. And Saunders again. Roebuck with plenty of time. Campese. He's hooked that one back over his shoulder. Australia have to stay outside the 10. Edgerton was onside. The ball skids. This is Horan. He was outside the 22 and he didn't get touch anyway. Great kick. Saunders. Well, a comedy of mistakes there with the Australian kickers. One Ireland, 2 Australia being called out. That's Phil Kearns and Nick Popplewell. A little bit of fighting going on there. I think they're just being warned and to concentrate on the football. So the Irish haven't spent too much time up in Australia's territory, but they have their chance now. 22 minutes gone in the first half. For Australia. Eels with 2 hands. This is Poitevin. Great drive there from the Irish pack.
This surge from the Irish from line out. Every time there's a deflected ball, they just pour through. Absolute explosion. Enormous pressure on the sweeper and halfback.
Another good hit there by the Australian front row. Number 8. Robinson there isn't bound in the scrum, so Australia can come through on the ball. This is Curtis and Gagan coming through. He lost a head. Edgerton wrapped up. Well, Gagan's the danger man. The Irish very keen to have him involved. But as they say here, he only gets one decent pass every 3 weeks.
Rob Edgerton there, being involved in a lot of the tidying up so far.
This is Michael Lynagh. He'll get the touch midway, 22 and halfway. Australia in their territory, leading by 6-0. Finally, the penalty goes to Ireland. Obstruction, jumping off the shoulders. Just heard from Greg Campbell, the Australian media liaison man. Nick Farr-Jones has a 2nd degree medial strain this time, which is worse than the other one. It would have happened anyway. He went on the field 100% fit, but he would be now in doubt not only for next week, but for the final, should Australia make it. Well, Ralph Keys has been in splendid form during the tournament. 19 goals from 25. 53 points his tally. This is a long-range kick, but he does have the assistance of the breeze. And he'll bring the house down if successful. "25 minutes gone." You can hear a pin drop here at the moment. It's good. From Cork Constitutional has given the Irish supporters great hope. Australia leading by 3. Michael Lynagh now, the skipper out there. And that kick actually hitting the post and going through.
The atmosphere here is fantastic. Each of these grounds over here have their own special type of atmosphere, but this one is very intimate, very close. Great singing in the bleachers.
Roebuck goes shallow. Eels took it with 2 hands. Off a Hengawa hit there to maul it. Australia wanting to stay on their feet here. Smith has done very well for Ireland in these mauls. And Australia gets the scrum feed. But Smith, a very strong man there, number 2, managing to get on the wrong side and to thwart Australia's progress.
Tenacious, like a little bull terrier in there. Saw the ball and didn't let it go.
Here's Lynagh and Horan. Knock on by Australia. Irish backs up very smartly that time to put the pressure on.
Well, it's a cut pass. They'll have to try and go across, but it just went behind Roebuck.
Tony Daly wouldn't have played much against a prop that really binds as low as this.
Here's Robinson, big overlap. That's Hamilton, back to Robinson. Well, I think Robinson should have passed the ball there. This is Saunders, and he's kicked a bit too deep.
Well, Simon Porterman caught napping on the side of the scrum there. Robinson took off. It's a very quick delivery back to Robinson. Back row have to keep their eyes open. He's pretty quick, talented player. Intelligent back row the Irish have got.
Hardy Roebuck. Well taken by Matthews. This is Lenihan. He made his debut back in 1981 against the Wallabies at this ground. Keys, Mullen. Oh, look at the tackle. Great stuff. It comes back for Ireland. Staples. Saunders. Robinson. Ireland keep it alive. Mullen. Curtis. Drives him back. And Matthews penalised for not staying on his feet. But I think that was a tough decision because he was on his feet and leading over.
Yeah, it was a tough decision. Superb second phase play by Ireland. Great tackling by Australia.
They're trying to work it wide, but the Australians are moving forward. Matthews was on his knees. He's off his feet. The penalty was fair.
This is Gagan. 30 metres out from the goal line.
This ball does amazing things into the wind. Every time Australia kicks it, it ducks and dives and goes in all directions.
Well, it's been a gripping test match so far, Chris. Plenty of thrust and parry.
7-3 the line-outs Australia's favour. Make that 8.
Slattery, he did well. Australia not releasing against Peter Slattery.
Very keen to tidy up loose ball, Peter Slattery, but should chance his arm a little more. There was an opportunity to get that ball free to Lynagh.
It's a Gary Owen. Campese knocked on. And the referee says
squarely in their sights. Good position for Ireland here. Wide blind.
Robinson, Saunders, Gagan. Edgerton took him. This is Hamilton. Coming back for Saunders. Keys. Curtis. Mullen. It came off the Irish man. The referee playing advantage. Accidental offside.
Great penetrating, well, great spreading of the ball by Ireland. They're not penetrating, but they're really stretching the Australian defence.
Brendan Mullen, number 13, former Ireland 110-metre hurdles champion. He broke the Irish record in 1986. Australia leading 6-3. They have a torrid battle on their hands here. Michael Lynagh with a steadying touch finder. Anita from halfway. The Australian captain now.
Very good kick by Lynagh. It's relieved that pressure. Ireland throwing everything at Australia. Second phase is very good from Ireland. They lay it back extremely well.
Eels, Lynagh and Horan. Through the tackle of Curtis. Poitevin penalised. But there was an Irish man there first, not on his feet. Lynagh queried, and now he's been penalised another 10. I'd like to have a look at that one again.
Lynagh is the captain. He has the right to ask. Whether another player said something, I'm not sure, but Lynagh still went back to say to reinforce his position on the field.
Yes, I was quite certain there that one of the Irish forwards was over the ball first after the tackle, then Poitevin came in.
Poitevin was still off his feet and playing at the ball, so...
but the initial offence, Chris, was by Ireland.
It's Robinson.
For number 8. .32.5 minutes gone. This one to level the scores. He's got it!
This will fire this Irish team. Matthews down there, captain yelling at his players, his forwards. They can smell some victory here. Their strategy to date's been to throw themselves totally at the Australian team. They've run it wide. But Australia still resistant. Ireland still got the wind.
Smith! Poitevin the tackler. Taken away by Lenihan. This is Robinson. Smith again. A big hit by Offahen Galway. Campese back there. And the kick again going too far. Back to the 22.
Still they come, the green jerseys. Horan missing a tackle centre field. They're getting in behind the Australians, and they're really stretched in their defence to keep the green jerseys out.
This loss of Farr Jones has had a dramatic impact on the Australian team. They need to be organised to get their game together.
It's a good kick by Roebuck. Robinson took it and sets up beautifully. Keys, Curtis. Now it's Gagan there first. He has to release, and he didn't. But Poitevin been penalised for diving on the tackled player. That's a different interpretation here.
Well, you're allowed to tackle.
This is the crude refereeing that we've seen in the World Cup so far, particularly these decisions. And it's this one that makes an ass of the laws of rugby, where a tackler going on a player on the ground, you are supposed, so the lawmakers say, to stand on your feet and simply hold on to the man rather than tackle the player to prevent him getting up.
Australia did get a penalty that way against Western Samoa, but it is a disgraceful interpretation. As you say, Gary, if the guy's there with the ball, you've got to tackle him.
You tackle him.
That's what the game's all about, isn't it?
That's right.
And it is not Australia killing the ball. Now, the diving over law was about killing the ball and not making it playable.
At the tackle. It's the players coming in after the tackle. But Ralph Keys can get this kick. No worries about that. He has the breeze. It's 53 metres out. And this one will put Ireland in front. Hasn't got the distance. Campese. And that's a very good touch finder. 10 from halfway. Still 6-all. And we have about 4.5 minutes to halftime. Slattery knocked on. I don't think the referee saw it.
Still the advantage will come to Ireland. Need sweepers from the front.
Saunders to Keys. Now it's Clark coming through. The Ireland captain is offside, number 6. Inside the 10 metres, Phil Matthews. He was in front of the kicker. He had to stay away some 10 metres from where the ball was about to alight.
Australia haven't got the flow that they would have liked at this point in the game. They haven't got the continuity, and it's more power to Ireland. They've been able to break up the Australian attack right at the scrum base and in the fixed
He's going
first phase play.
Linus here. Horan. The Australians need composure. It's not there at the moment. The crowd really geeing up the Irish side.
Forwards having trouble at line out, winning some good quality ball. Their scrum, they're under pressure. And their second phase, they've had to go straight across field to get to it. Need to put the ball in front of the Australian pack.
Slattery's service hasn't been good. Last 2 passes have been bad ones, and that's not a good kick either. Staples. Campese knocked on. The referee says the ball went back. Well, Campese lost the ball, but it did travel back, so it's probably the right decision. Gagan. Eels the tackler. Just short of halfway. Saunders, his kick straight to Roebuck. Roebuck gets the mark.
Waste of a ball that from Saunders. He didn't have the winger spare on the other side. He had no chasers on. His outside backs on the open side. Didn't know he was going over the top.
Well, it's a very tense match at the moment for these Australians. The Irish really playing above themselves. They're playing on that renowned spirit and passion. And Donald Lenihan, a cool head in the Irish tight forwards.
Australia just living off the scraps at this stage. Not handling it well. Ireland dominating. Ruxton Mall's 13-10 Ireland's way.
Slattery. Again, the Irish doing well, getting in amongst the Australians at the line-out, maintaining pressure. Nick Popperwell, prop forward at the front for Ireland. He made his debut against New Zealand here in 1989. Daly's there. Lynagh. Ireland going over the top. Matthews going over the tackle player. But Australia again panicking.
Just enthusiasm. They're getting carried away with it. Flying into the ruck and maul whenever they see Lynagh or Slattery caught. They're struggling in the lineouts, Australia, not in getting the possession, but in putting it away and getting it tidied up.
It's the quality of possession. It's the real worry. It's just being won at any time.
Well, it has been a pulsating first half. The scores are locked at 6-all. Australia hasn't played anywhere near its best because they've been put under pressure by the Irish team. So at half-time, it's Ireland 6, Australia 6.
Well, Tim Gavin, the frustrating first half. I don't think you enjoyed that much.
No, I mean, the Irish are really taking it to us. And we're getting a bit bustled there, but I think the wind's a telling factor. It's really blowing hard just at the moment. And they're keeping us pinned down here. And if Michael Lynagh can use that in the second half, and our forwards get going a bit better, we'll be right, I think.
How are they going to afford Slattery a bit more protection?
You know, they're not blocking the men coming through. They're not stepping across and taking their man out. Like, they've got to have man-on-man defence in the line out, and they're pushing too much ball out too far. They've got to let the ball land in front of him.
I know at one stage there you felt that the short passes were definitely the go, but they're not always doing that, are they?
No, well, they're trying to throw it long. I mean, early in the half they're throwing the short passes. Campo went through a hole, and Marty Roback's been going through holes. So I mean, they've got to keep those passes short. The ball's obviously pretty slippery, and the conditions are telling.
So do you think that they're basically winning enough possession to do it? They're just got to cut down the mistakes.
Well, they're winning a heap of line-out ball, but it's just not going to the right people. I mean, it's getting pushed to Peter Slattery pretty badly, and then it's obviously putting pressure on Michael Lynagh, so we've just got to stop those errors.
You made mention when Nick Farr-Jones went off that they seem to have a bit of a lull whenever he does go off. They lose their way a bit.
It seems, I mean, even when I was in the side, you felt when Nick went off, there was just a lull for 10 minutes, and then the boys got back into their rhythm again. I don't know what it is, but he's a hard one to miss.
And who's going to be doing the talking out there at half-time?
Oh, Michael's a great talker. He'll be in there pushing the boys along, and obviously Simon Boydeman. I mean, you know, they all have a bit of a chat. There's a few problems there. They've really got to sort it out.
All right, Tim, enjoyed the rest of the match. Thanks for your comments.
Thanks, Steve.
Yes, and full marks to the Irish. They have played superbly in that first half. They love being underdogs and playing in front of the faithful here at Lansdowne Road. They're a very formidable opponent, Chris.
Good, and the Australia have won the lineouts 13-3, but it's what they've been able to do with the ball. We've seen it being pushed down into areas that are very difficult to clear the ball from. And when they do, they're looking for the wider pass to clear the very flat backline defence of Ireland, and that wide pass is not coming off. So they've got to shorten it up, keep it under control, and just work ahead steadily and slowly, and I'm sure it will come.
And Gary, you made the point that Australia just lost their composure once Farr-Jones left the field.
Yeah, they have. They went on to play the game with in the hand, and they were doing quite well, and Farr-Jones was calling the shots, but as soon as he's left, they've lost the composure around the ruck and maul. They've also, the forwards have lost confidence because this Irish side's just throwing themselves at them with fire. And
one of Australia's strong performers in that first half, but it needs a strong performance from all 8. Again, Australia panicking a little there. The ball hasn't gone into touch. This is Clark. That one's out on the full. Well, John Clark, the inexperienced man, made his debut against Wales, and he is one of 5 backs in this Irish 15 today from London Irish Club.
Now it's quality possession Australia will be looking for. McCall at 2, Eales at 4. Paul with that better ball at the front against Lynagh would be the option.
Eels got it. Lynagh and Horan. It's there for Slattery and Lynagh again. Controlling beautifully.
Well, that's it. That's what the player you want. Michael Lynagh will have to win this game for Australia. Getting the good play, popping it down to the 22s. Great opportunity for Australia here.
Well, Ireland winning the ruck and ball 15-11 at half time. But that's what Australia would have been trying to do right from the first minute. They've had to go back to basics, get the ball up into the corners and attack from inside the 22.
Neil Francis. He's taken the ball ahead. Australia trying to push him back. Now they do. No, it's come away to Popplewell. But Ireland doing very well there, under enormous pressure on their goal line.
Extremely intelligent, good communications, moved the ball well. Preferred probably a bit more metres, but Australia's throw-in.
Australia running with a strong breeze in the second half. They have all the conditions in their favour. This is Daly driving through. Australia now through Miller. Jeff Miller has a good point of it. Ireland pull it down, and they hurdle on the ground.
They've done all the hard work, the Irish. They've resisted the push and the drive as well as any I've seen against Australia, and then panicked when it went to ground. They tried to scoop it back.
But the initial penalty should have been for pulling that maul down, because Steve Smith pulled it straight down. But the penalty has gone for his hands after it went to ground.
Yeah, I agree, Chris. That was tremendous resistance there from the Irish pack. They were smart. They knew where it was going. They worked it out. They actually got in on Miller and Poitevin, got their hands on it, and then just got in behind it and moved it.
So now it's Michael Lynagh. That conversion brought up his 100 points from the test matches in 1991. But he really needs this one to give Australia the boost early in the second half. 4 minutes gone. But it's one of those nasty kicks, Chris. It's 15 metres in. There's a bit of wind around. And it's a difficult attempt here for the Australian captain. Yes! Never in doubt.
That's better, a more composed Michael Lynagh. Just taking his time and just finessing the ball, just stroking it rather than trying to kick it too hard as he did in the first half and pulling it off centre.
Well, I think that'll give the Australians a lot of confidence.
Chris, the struggle in front row is a short, tight in magnitude, isn't it?
Tony Daly has never struck a tight head prop like Fitzgerald. He's a super low driving front row, and it's really distracting Daly, affecting his game a little.
Eels. Oh, bumped out of the way. Rod McCall penalised for taking a man out without the ball. Use of the shoulder. And this is a difficult kick because he's into the wind. But
Eels did all the work. Athletic got up and got it. Australia still has problems at this part of play. But it'll be 22 or kick-off. Don't seem composed, just not comfortable.
Rod McCall's had a lot of trouble with the beds over here. The mattresses have been too soft, so he's ended up sleeping on the floor. Ralph Keys can bring Ireland back to 9-all here. Six minutes gone, second half. He'll aim out to the left. It's much harder against the breeze. And he seemed to slip there as his left foot came down. Australia lead by 3.
This ball likes to dive, doesn't it, against the wind?
This is Keys again, coming back at the Australians. And that one's holding up in the breeze. Keys got it. Gagan. Saunders now. The Irish backs under pressure here. Mullen. Oh, hit by offhand Galway. Big hit. Tackle, says the referee, above the shoulders.
Well, referee Fleming should be maybe refereeing touch, the local ground down the road. This is hard rugby if you can't hack it.
It's a good carry on from Keys. Raybuck lost the head. Lynagh. Saunders. Keys. Curtis. Staples. Australia holding on here, but driving Clark back, and Australia will get possession. Slattery gets a touch. 10 from halfway.
There was far more Australian support at the breakdown, but they were nearly outflanked and they had to call on all the reserves to defend against that. It was good work by Ireland. They worked the ball wide and they had the overlap. Little covered his man and then worked out wide. And they all came. Look at the gold jerseys arrive here, and Miller
and all backs did it. They were the ones who got the momentum going.
Hamilton gets it, and now it's Robinson. Good ruck ball for Ireland. Keys. A tester now. Campese. Slurry there. Australia hold on. Well, David Campese had that ball and then lost it.
He's never been great off the ground with that ball behind. And all the pressure. Keys doing well. He dropped it on a sixpence in that real pressure circle underneath the goalpost. And now this is a test. You see it goes wide. They cleared the ball wide and Keys set himself. Went wide and then hooked it back in. Campese came from the wing and it was his to defend. Comes up for it and it goes through the hands and Slattery.
And the drop goal's on here for Keys. He's standing straight back. Second shot. Well, the referee said it forked up in the air. I would have let it go.
Great shove there by Ireland. Miller had pulled off. Must stay in.
Staples has come on the blind side. Drop goal! Scores a level. Another poster there from Ralph Keys.
Tremendous scrum by Ireland. Great platform. Kept it low control. Australia tried to wheel it. Straight. Keys, as he did against Scotland, composed and bangs it over. This is a fearsome performance by Ireland.
Went backwards. Good pressure from Edgerton. Les Pearce, touch judge on the far side, 10-metre line. And Michael Lynagh trying to get messages through to his backs to let's go forward, he says.
Well, it's that scrum that's under pressure. That angle that the Irish tight head prop is pushing on is really disrupting the Australian front row.
it'll be a scrum for Australia where the ball was kicked from. Now they're going to take the penalty. And that's not a bad option when they're kicking with the breeze. Lynagh can take play down, maybe inside the 22 here.
Take a bit of pressure off for the forwards.
He can put it up too. And here they come. Horan. Cleaned out. But he did well. Australia scrum feed.
It's a good option by Lynagh. This has fired the pack up again. Just went a fraction far. It might have been marked, but it was a good option. Get Australia back on the flow.
That's where Australia need Horan and Little to work some magic.
Michael Lynagh and Horan. Campese, it's Roebuck and Little. Campese, number 2.
Great play by all the Australian backs. The back row option has been negated by the strength of the Irish scrum. But this straight running out wide, again by Roebuck getting into the space, picking up Little and going away at the angle and giving Campese a gift try.
It was a great scrum. Australia had played their way down there. It was a tremendous scrum that stayed there. But it was the wide ball it was a cut flat ball again, and it was Roebuck that hit at a different angle, and superb backing up by Jason Little, and always looking for the support man, and Campese gets his second. Great Australian play.
Campese's 5th try in the tournament, and I think the Australians extremely grateful to get that one. They really have been under enormous pressure from this magnificent Irish 15. Vital conversion attempt here for Lynagh. This is where he kicked the last penalty. It's there. So Australia out to a 6-point lead.
Well, it was the flat pass that committed the Irish backs that did it. It wasn't working early on. Something they've been practicing all the way along.
The loop from Little, the key. The cut first up.
It's a great cut.
Roebuck running beautifully straight. He knew Little was there. He came and then came away at the angle, stretched the defence, and even Gagan, who was flying across the touchline, couldn't get to Campese.
Australia can't sit on its laurels here. Ireland will come back with more fury.
Eales to McKenzie. And look at the big hit from Ireland. Miller's there. And lost ahead there by Smith. But they're really hitting hard, these Irishmen, pounding into the Australian pack.
Try and wheel this Australian scrum into the sideline.
Michael Lynagh. Another tester. This is Clark. Jack Clark. It's all goal jumpers there. And Australia have forced him back. A big drive. And it's the high balls, Chris, that have really done the damage. The one by Lynagh from the penalty that led to the try, and that was another good option.
A great tackle by Campese that was on. Ball didn't want to go out. Keep it in field of play.
Against the Irish hooker or the prop. Yep. Striking too early there. I think it was the number 3, Des Fitzgerald, who's been mighty.
Knocked the ball out of the halfback's hands. We saw it happen against Slattery. You probably shouldn't put the ball down as low.
There'll be snow on this.
It's another Gary Owen. Ireland really being tested here. Horan through. Ireland come away through Keys, and Gagan can sprint. Great play by Horan. He chased the kick, and then he was back in cover.
Well, you said it, Gordon. Chased that kick flat out, made the tackle, then was quickly up to get back, and Gagan was flying. He went past Rob Edgerton as though he was standing still. Can move. He'd be exciting player to see with the ball in his hands.
Well, he's run round Steve Ford, he's run round Yayan Evans, and he's run round Rory Underwood to score 5 Nations tries. Gagan. Magnificent first season for Ireland.
Some quality possession Australia needs.
John
Some
Eales.
well set.
Coming back for Lynagh. Edgerton's with him. It's a little banana kick. Edgerton! And kicked into touch by Saunders.
How many times has Bob Edgerton done that this year? Both for the Waratahs and Australia. Great chaser. Australia getting confidence now, getting a bit of roll in their game. Ireland could be tiring a little at the forwards.
I'm sure they are, Gary. Just those last phases of play, they're returning to a position late. Australia are just running on. They're full of running at the moment. They need some quality possession.
Slattery, and Lynagh lost it. Knock on, advantage played for Ireland. Gagan chases. 8 metres from the halfway line.
This deflected ball has been a problem. Slats is having a bit of problems getting hold of it.
Well, Australian forwards know where that ball's going. They've got to be there quickly. They can leave as soon as the ball leaves the thrower's hand. Support must come from the front for that sweat ball.
It's a lovely throw by Kearns. Knock on by Australia.
These Irish forwards love coming around to the Australian side, even though it hasn't left the line out.
Well, this Australian side is superbly prepared, fitness-wise. And I think fitness will be a telling factor in the last 20. Mistake by Roebuck.
Very good kick by Keys.
Slowly but surely they've worked it away from their line, the Irish.
Yes, the ball skidding on this slippery turf. It was an awkward bounce there for Roebuck. Ireland come back at the Australians. Robinson controls at the back. Keys. Gagan's coming in. Here he is. Clark. Campese at the death.
Terrific pace from the Irish. You can see what was coming. Gagan was flying from the far wing. They really had to stretch to get to him. It was good clearance. They whipped the ball wide quickly. Watch Gagan from behind. He's flying. Roebuck did beautifully to get to him. And Campese always had his man covered.
So now, Ireland asks the big question. Does Australia have the answer? Converted try would level the scores again. Francis. Keys. Curtis. Foreign tackles. Miller's there. So is Matthews for Ireland. Here it comes. Drop goal. No, it's Keys. And Mullen. Clark. Mullen should have got himself. He had the pace.
Great covering there by Phil Curtis to put pressure on Mullen to send him inside.
Francis brilliant at the top of the lineup. He won't hear of John Eales being the best in the world.
John Eales, two-hander. Crucial line-out take. And it's Australia's ball. But Slattery fumbled.
Far better when he comes forward to the ball in the air, John Eales.
Should have been clean, good ball there. It messed up around the bottom of the ruck. Slattery not looking comfortable there.
Not in straight. So we'll have a scrum 15 metres in now. When the ball's not thrown in straight by one side, the other side has the option of another throw or a scrum. Minutes to go. Now it's Lynagh. And that's a big kick downfield with the breeze. Pressure relief. This is Staples. Ireland all inside the 10. Smith. Australia still can't breathe because this kick would bring Ireland back to within 3.
See here, the Ireland just absolutely onslaught of green jumpers, powering forward, treasuring the ball as it goes up forward. Look at the players clean out as they swing it across. Australia's apparently been pinged midfield as Mullen pops it over the top. Campese's great skills to get back, but the penalty had been awarded, but good advantage play shown by the referee.
And Steve Cutler apparently warming up here for Australia. He is one of the forward reserves. So there could well be an adjustment in the Australian forwards. Miller hobbling back to his place. But Keys should have no trouble here. And we'll have a 3-point difference. Back there in the last line. He's run 5. And not a bad left-footed kick for a number 8.
Good covering by the Irish number 8. Line-outs favouring Australia 18-7, but as we said, it's the quality of the ball. Rucks and mauls going Ireland's way 24-18, and on scrum feeds, Ireland have 13, Australia 10.
Australia has scored 2 tries to 0. Both to David Campese, but Keys has kept Ireland in the game. Again, the loose tap ball. Slattery does well and gets the support now from the Australian forwards. Miller there with Poitevin and Kearns and McCall. Here it comes. Horan. Roebuck. Campese. He was held in the tackle, he didn't release. Fair decision. Great tackle by Simon Gagan.
A great lead-up play here. Again, Roebuck hits the line straight. Always straightens play up, leaves the options open as it pops across to Campese. Beautiful work over the top. And here we find Little is tackled, should have released. Good work by the referee.
Peter Slattery receiving attention in the background.
Well, Australia doesn't have a reserve halfback now. Jeff Miller would come in at halfback if Slattery can't continue. What a tense situation here.
That came from that line out on the far side that he had to really take it himself. It's again this lack of sweepers is a concern. He had to do it all himself.
I think also the jumpers, Gary, have been under pressure all day, and it's the ball that comes when you're under pressure isn't your quality ball, and they're struggling to get it down and pushing it into awkward territory.
John Eales is jumping at number 6, McCall at 4. Eales and Francis opposed at the back. Eales got it beautifully to offer Hengawe. Campese. A tester here for Staples. Pouring through. The mark is paid. The referee said he was stationary. Courageous stuff there from Jim Staples, who played soccer alongside the Crystal Palace and England forward Ian Wright. Not a great kick. So Australia a chance now to really apply the screws.
This is the territory Australia must camp in. Got to get good possession.
14 minutes to go in the game.
This ball should be taken centre field, opening up the options.
Ball lost ahead. Advantage here for Ireland. The referee will play the scrum.
Saunders is a nippy little bloke. He's tucking and diving. Kicked it just about straight over his own head.
Well, Australia has to take this match now. They have to keep Ireland down here.
They have the Irish scrum under pressure. That's not right from the referee. He said Australia pushed before the ball came in. They'd already set one scrum and the Ireland scrum was under pressure. The scrum half had the ball down there but wouldn't put it in. Should have been for not feeding.
Midway 22 and halfway, Ireland creeping back.
It is imperative that Australia say in this half some of these interpretations by the referee extremely dangerous.
This is Matthews, Hoytman and Miller there. Ireland love this situation. They're going to come at Australia now. Gagan! Horan putting to ground. Kearns won the ball. Great mauling there by... No, it was Willie off the hand go away. Willie has won the ball for Australia.
Australia, who was really able to drive the ruck, to drive it against Wales, haven't been able to get the Irish going back. They have resisted better than any side that we've seen this year playing Australia. Committed and strong.
Number 7 here from Ireland, miles offside. Absolutely, he's up in front of the scrum.
Australia spread it wide again. Campese. Stop me if you can, he says. He wants to bounce. And it's a 5-metre scrum. Australia's lead.
Good play, Campese. He had 3-on-1. He did the sensible thing. He kept the ball up in front of him towards the line. He gave himself every chance and put Ireland under pressure. Now this Australian scrum has to work.
Neil Francis, the giant second rower who had a stint with the Manly club, down for attention.
Watch this ball move quickly. They've taken out Roebuck, who's picked the ball up every other time. It's good moving of the ball by Australia. The dummy on Roebuck and Campese. Look at his eyes fixed on the ball all the time.
Superbly balanced player, Campese.
What a brave performance by Ireland. They were 17-point underdogs in this game. They haven't yielded 1 centimetre. Australia's been given the fight of its life here, and the Irish are still in with a sniffing victory. John Fitzgerald warming up. Willie-O! He lost it. The referee will have a scrum. Jolting tackle there from Phil Matthews.
Terrific tackle by Matthews. Been rated one of the best back rowers in the world in the last 2 or 3 years.
And again has underlined the fact Timmy Gavin missing Willie-O against Wales, who weren't able to get the drive from the number 8 position. He's running a bit high without conviction. The ball jolted from his hands.
Control by Robinson. This is Keys. He's in under pressure here. But a nice kick. He only gained a few metres, but they're desperate metres for his side. Can Australia wrap this match up? They have to score while they're down here.
I doubt whether some of those forwards feel they can wrap it up. They're tired. Both sides. It's been a very physical game.
Saunders on his left foot. A couple more metres. Donald Lynagh there. Donald's Donuts, the midweek team for the Lions in Australia. He was the man who led them, urging his troops on.
They're a grafting side, this Irish side, all the way up the sidelines. A good balance of toughness up front, a bit of flair with a bit of ball out wide.
Eels to Daly. Hoytman. Great charge. Slattery. Now it's Campese. Back for Slattery. Horan. This is Staples. A brave counter-attack. Campese has about 2
Christmas off their play. So they should. It's been a really hard tussle.
Saunders, caught by McCall. Smith's in there. And Australia going forward, says the referee. That was doubtful.
Good work from Rock McCall. Having not been a jumper, coming through the line-out, doing some extra work tidying up. Needs to do more work.
Lynagh will be looking for this bottom right-hand corner. Hoping Campese can put the pressure on from the kick, I'd say.
Ireland looking for a big scrum. 7 minutes to go. Australia leading by 3. Slattery's kick, followed by Campese. Robinson's there. Overhead go away, wrapped in. Here they go. Keys. Gagan chases. Edgerton's there. Eels. Lynagh. And Little. Jason Little. McKenzie the prop forward. Slattery's there. Here it comes. Kurt's knocked on. Well, one of the Irish players was interfered with as the kick was put up by Keys. It should have been a penalty.
Good composure by Australia. Plenty of players to get around. Jason Little down the far side. Fortunately, Kurt's knocked it on.
McKenzie up there in support.
Keys again. Now it's Curtis. Staples. Clark and Campese. Edgerton.
Wallabies. What a great try.
Well, there's 5 minutes to go. That is a sensational effort there by Gordon Hamilton from the Northern of Ireland Football Club, the same club as Mike Gibson. What wonderful support. And I have to say it, the Irish deserve victory if they get it here today. Ralph Keys looking for a 3-point advantage.
For the ball, lost the focus. Instead of going for the ball, just tried to inch the player out.
The ball's being carried over the goal line here by Robinson. There's about 3 minutes to go. Australia fighting for their World Cup lives.
I wouldn't write the Wallabies off yet.
There's enough players here that want this victory. They'll lift the pit tempo. They'll ask for that other 20-30%.
Slattery to Lynagh. Horan. Campese into the forwards. It's a good setup. Less than 3 minutes to go. Pointerman trying to bring it back.
Australia need to clear this ball.
Australia was trailing by 3 and was in this situation just 10 metres out. This is unbearable. Here it comes. Michael Lynagh and Horan. Campese, Little was held without the ball. Campese! Lynagh! Yes! He got it!
The crowd is stunned. What a great try, what a great comeback from Australia. The composure from Campese that time to just hold on to keep driving towards the line. The crowd is just totally silent, and there's a group of Australians on the other side of the field have gone berserk.
But when Australia needed it, that was when they called on it. It was the line out on the far side. It was the scrum as it went wide. A superb confidence in winning the game. Again, Roebuck and Little, absolutely magnificent. Campese's composure is magnificent here. He holds the ball up. He knows he won't get there, but it's Lynagh that swings around. And what great backing up to get the try. They wanted it.
It would have taken the whole of the Irish population to stop Michael Lynagh there. Well, what do you say about this game?
Unbelievable. It has everything.
The Australians were looking at the return flight back home. A minute and a half to go.
Lynagh a kick that he needs. Take your time, Noddy.
One pointed at, the kick is wide. A minute to go for Ireland. What a fantastic contest.
Australia must be careful here. Retain the ball and get back down into the Irish 20, into the Irish half.
No penalties. Kearns. Overhand Galway mauls it back. And Lynagh with a steadying kick. A big one downfield. This is Staples. Ireland will come back. Those Irish players were inside the 10. This is Clark. And now Lynagh again. He'll go downfield. That's the way. There's no fullback. This is Saunders. Australia have to stay outside the 10. Not a bad reply.
Good play by Saunders. He's been one of their best driving this fiercely committed green machine at the back.
What a heart stopper. Mine is beating very fast. But we're in injury time and Australia leads by a point. 19-18. One last chance for Ireland. Keys. Roebuck underneath. Matthews. McKenzie the tackler. Smith. Eels the tackler. Slattery for Australia. I think that was Ireland's last chance.
Smith went away from his support towards the sideline.
Michael Lynagh again goes down the touchline. It's out on the full. We've had a minute of injury time. What more does Australia have to do here?
Australia must be careful of this line and not to infringe. Play it by the book.
It was lost ahead by Ireland. Slattery goes downfield. This is Clark. They have to run it back. Staples and Clark. Oh! Little was off for a try but dropped the ball.
Can't believe it.
He had to go for it.
Time is almost up. That's it. Australia has defeated Ireland in a dramatic quarter-final here at Lansdowne Road. Ireland, the whole of Australia salutes you.
What an incredible contest. Fiercely committed green machine. Up front, they really took it to Australia in the set pieces. Scrum, they destroyed. disturbed, and Australia never got the edge in the scrum. The layouts, they got in behind Eels. They really pressured Australia's ball. And it was this lack of quality first phase possession that really put Australia under pressure. But they moved and were able to move it wide in the backs, and when they did, it was the strength and speed of the Australia's outside back.
As we said, this Irish side is an awesome green machine when it goes. But Ireland, I think, did everything to win today. To be fair and safe down the middle, they did everything. They threw everything at Australia, competed in line-out, in scrum. They threw the ball wide. Australia, only because of a couple of its stars, got the victory at the end, I believe. But I think Ireland did all the hard work.
Look at Jason Little, he's smiling. It was a close shave, but it was the class of those guys coming through, the Australian backs, who were really the big difference today. They ran straight and they knew where the goal line was, and they got the ball over that goal line for 3 excellent tries. 19-18, a 1-point cliffhanger here at Lansdowne Road. What do you say, Chris?
Well, Gordon, possession it was about today and fierce commitment. Ireland had it, and Australia, to their credit, they didn't give up. And that try by them right on time, such is the composure. Everyone in Australia, every rugby player in Australia should be so proud of their team. They did it tough today, but they were able to pull one out when it was really needed. There's no flash wins, there's no superboles or whatever to go on about. It was just hard, grinding rugby.
Well, I go back to 87, Chris, when Australia so tragically bowed out at the quarter-final against France. But there's an interview coming up in a few moments. Here's Serge Blanco scoring that try in the corner at Concord.
I'll tell you
Let's hear from David
that was 80 minutes of rugby. Ireland just didn't give up. We knew that what sort of side they were, but every time they got in our half, they put the pressure on, and eventually we had the crack, and we did, and we let them in for one try.
I guess you're expecting that number of high balls.
Yeah, I think it was very windy up there. In the first half it was running one way, in the second half it seemed to have changed around. And every time we put a bomb up, it just seemed to hang. And it makes it very difficult, especially the ball's being so light.
Our forwards, Australian forwards, didn't play as well as they might have.
No, I think it's a credit to Ireland. I think they put the pressure on, and they made our players probably not play as well as they should have. I think it was, we're down to win or lose now, and we just got to realise it's 80 minutes of rugby and we've got to dominate from the start. We can't afford to just sort of take it easy in the first half and then sort of build up in the second.
Ireland hit the front, I think, with about 4 minutes to go. What were your thoughts then?
Oh, no. I think it was mainly my fault because I should have dived in the ball instead of let the Ireland winger pick it up, and their support was good. And I just tried to chase the back row, but lucky Rob Edgerton came across and just got him on the line. But, they deserved the try. They played very well and put a lot of pressure on us.
You got a couple of tries, but you're a bit tender on one of those ankles?
Yeah, I hurt my right ankle, so I might have to get a bone scan, I think Greg Craig said. So I hope it's not what I think it is. It's what happened to me in 87, my operation on my left ankle. So hopefully it's not as bad as that.
Well, a win's a win. Let the heart settle down.
Thanks very much. Tough.
Yes, well, what a performance by the Australians. David Campese with those 2 sparkling tries. They were critical. And then he played a big hand in that last try, the winning try, which came in the closing stages. But it was a wonderful performance by the Irish, Gary. 19-18, and what a splendid crowd we had here at Lansdowne Road, a sporting crowd.
A fantastic crowd. It was full applause to them. They were terrific for both sides. They exported great play. They were quiet when it came to the Australian kicks. They were just with us. I mean, next week they're going to have this whole Irish crowd behind us when we take on the whoever makes the other game, which is more likely the All Blacks.